Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
And I am Ricky. Today we're playing Sheepy Time.
Sheepy Time is going to be a game from AEG targeting more gateway and or family gamers. And this is going to be a game that's playable in 1 to 4 players around half an hour, although it can run long depending on who you're playing with and how AP prone they are. Analysis paralysis, the time taking to make decisions. Now, we're not going to do a full roles explanation, but we will do a general overview. And to that end, this is a game where you're basically pushing your luck. It's very much a push your luck game as you try to escape your nightmares, which may not sound like a family-friendly theme, but it does work, although the spiders are terrifying. But either way, right now we have the Nightmare Wolf in play. The Nightmare Wolf is going to be one of the 3 different bosses or nightmares you can have as you play through the game. And every single turn players are going to have a card in the hand. They can go ahead and choose a card, and then they draw, and they figure out which card they're going to play. They can either move around the board, so I'm going to go ahead and play this to move 5 spaces. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is excellent. Or alternatively, you can play a card to the other abilities, either gaining various winks or alternatively catching sleep, all these different things to put different tokens on abilities or to advance further on the track. Now, as you draw cards, what you're going to do is eventually you'll run into the wolf, the nightmare itself. The nightmare is going to go ahead and start moving around the board, and this is where the nightmare is going to go 1, 2. You see, the nightmare is chasing you around the track as well. Now, you move faster than the nightmare, which is the good part, and every time you cross the fence, it's helpful, it's going to advance you. But then always the question is, do you stop? Every time you cross the fence, you can choose to stop or you can choose to keep moving. And if you keep moving, the problem is if the nightmare ever lands in your space, or some of the cards will even say adjacent spaces, then you're going to be on your side. You'll be shaken, stirred. You're not woken up yet, but you're close to being woken up. So now suddenly you're at more risk. Or alternatively, if the nightmare ever crosses the fence, regardless of where you are, regardless of how many times you've crossed the fence, well, suddenly you're going to basically be woken up and all progress you've gained has been lost. If you've ever played any push your luck game like Can't Stop or Captain Carcass, any push your luck game, this is a game where you're going to be saving and locking in your progress, but if you push too far, you'll lose everything you've gained. Any other aspects of Sheepy Time you want to go over? The abilities, how those work?
Oh yeah, the little ability cards. Some cards say catch a sleep. Yep. That means you take one of these little sleepy tokens and you place it on here. And then whenever you land on, let's say I had one here and I land on 6. That means I gain 2 sleep if my pillow is the highest on the scoreboard. And then I gain 2 more. I definitely gain 2, and if my pillow is highest, I gain 2 more.
Yeah, so the way these abilities are going to work, some of them are going to be infinite. They're going to give you all these kinds of things, and then you're going to start with 2 in play, and every time we trigger a new round, which is every time either the wolf has crossed the fence, or alternatively, we've just stopped playing, we've all passed and said, we're good, we're safe, we don't want to wake up, you're going to have a bit of a draft with new ability tiles that you get added to the board. So basically at the end of 3 rounds, you're going to have, at the end of the second round, you'll now have the board fully populated with all the ability tiles you need to, well, start taking abilities. And the abilities are all going to give you different ways to manipulate the board, to move further spaces, to avoid getting hit, to do any number of things, to gain more sleep, to gain more points. But that's going to be the ability and the unlocking tableau of this engine. Along the way, you're going to be basically advancing your own score marker, but also moving your pillow further back. And so eventually you're going to hit this intersection where your current score crosses your pillow, and that is going to be where and how you win. You see, at the end of round 1 over here in a 2-player game, you would have the first player would move their pillow back 8 points. They'd go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because at any point, if you cross your pillow, you're going to then be the winner of the game. Whereas your score marker resets every round, your pillow is a permanent benefit to having won in prior rounds. That's going to be the general overview of how you play Sheepy Time. Which brings us to the review part of the thing. How you doing over there?
Good.
What do you like about Sheepy Time?
Well, first of all, I love how all the figures are super cute. Even the nightmare.
The nightmare is kind of adorable. Again, the spiders, the actual nightmare cars, I have them more over here. You have a variety.
The actual cards are terrifying, but
we have the little ghost and the sinister spider. And then we have different player aids for different player counts. But yeah, anything else?
I also like how you have to go to your pillow and try not to wake up and you're like sheep jumping over the fence.
Yeah.
And I also like these little abilities. Like, it's just a trampoline. As soon as you land on, you immediately move the amount of spaces you move past. So if you move 6 and then land on it, you go boing, 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 boing.
Move as many spaces as you moved immediately before landing here. Oh, that's cool. You're bouncing.
I like
You're bouncing.
I know, you're going boing.
It's using your own force as a boom. That's cool. There's a lot of these ability cards. As you can see over here, there's a whole bunch over here, including we have another stack behind the box, making sure the box doesn't fall over. There's a lot of variations to the way your board can play out and the way you can start stacking up abilities on different spots to utilize them to move your engine forward. So far for myself, I agree with you. I like the art's gorgeous, not gorgeous, the art's cutesy. Gorgeous is the wrong word. The art's cutesy, it's appealing. I generally like push your luck games. There's something fun about just one more time around. Just one more time around. I can make it. I can do it. And there is a degree of just fun of drawing cards that will help you and or cards that will result in the various nightmare landing on your space. There's a whole lot of fun going on in the general push your luck engine. And then, of course, it's got powers and abilities in the form of these upgrades that are going to slowly slot around the board. And every time a player slots one, they also get their own tokens on the board as well, making it more likely they'll be able to activate it. So yeah, I agree with you on those things. Anything you don't like about the game?
Well, I don't like how as soon as the nightmare, like the first time around the nightmare, then you wake up. I also don't like the fact that they did chase. I think I was like, I'm safe. You're like, no, I woke up.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
For myself, the main thing I don't like about the game is going to be that, well, I would say there's two things I don't like about this game. The first is that the cards can be wildly swingy in their luck. You see, you have over here a card move 1 or 2 spaces, then you have a card move 5 spaces. So in terms of the sheer luck of the game, while I enjoy and appreciate push your luck as a mechanism, and I like it in many games, I usually want it to be push your luck, not just luck. And while this does have push your luck, it also has just wild swinginess in terms of how far someone can advance on the board. I wish they give you more of a trade-off of some way these cards were more balanced to be not just, oh, congratulations, I drew 2 5s, so I'm advancing further past you. So that's one thing I don't like.
Another option.
What's the other option? Well, there is another option, but again, even then, it's still just, it's like moving 5 spaces is a big deal when the alternative is moving 1 or 2. I mean, for me, I don't love that. Again, I'm not saying I don't like the game. I don't like that aspect. I'd rather the game feel like I win or lose based on how I chose to push my luck, not based on how the game was lucky.
Yeah. Okay, but I also like it's a certain enjoyment in the dramatics of push your luck games.
Yes, there is.
It's like, no, I was so close.
That is a thing that happens a lot when you're playing Sheepy Time.
Yes,
the other thing I don't like is going to be, and I think this one you'll probably agree with, I love these abilities. I like they're all fun. They all add to the engine, but I find they don't get activated as much as I'd like. Yeah, you see, like for a board that has 10 abilities around it, and will have 10 abilities as you play, you're going to activate them a few times for sure. I'm not saying you won't benefit from them, but I think that it feels like you should be using the abilities a lot, and instead you're using them. It's okay, we'll get it later. Yeah. Instead, we use them infrequently as we play. I'd rather there was some way that the abilities were being pulled into play more often, being activated more often than they currently are. And that's something that maybe we'll look into house ruling. I don't know. I'm sure there's something we can do there. Yeah. That's going to be as far as the things I don't like. Anything on your end? Anything else?
That I don't like? Not really.
Yeah. As far as what I can see others not liking, the only real warning I'd give past what we already talked about is it's very much going to be a lighter game. I mean, this is a game it's push your luck combined with luck. The gameplay is fairly simple. The decisions are usually around whether you want to activate an ability or something like that, which abilities you want to try to target, and or which cards you want to play, whether you want to try to just go one more time. I'd say most of the decisions are around whether or when to push your luck or not. And there are some decisions around the fact that, hey, the wolf's over here. We do have a nice card distribution list on the back of the wolf, which tells you what cards are available and how far it's likely to move. So there are going to be some decisions, but I would still very much classify this as a lighter game. It's not one that I'm looking to play with my game group. It's one that I'm looking to play with my family. Which brings us to the review part of the video. Which brings us to the final thoughts part of the video, which you always hate, because you're like, I said everything I wanted to say.
Yes.
Do you have final thoughts?
It's always hard.
Should I do final thoughts?
Yes, you know me about
final and rating. We can do rating too.
Yeah, rating.
So, final thoughts and rating for Sheepy Time. Overall, Sheepy Time by AEG Games is a game that I do enjoy. It's on the lighter side, but it's one that I find to be a good push your luck mechanic with the kids. It's not one that I'm even looking to pull out with Ricky alone, but I'll play it with Ricky, with Tavi. I'll play it with all my kids from my oldest to my youngest and have a good, fun, enjoyable experience that has a degree of tension and, like you said, dramatic moments of no, yes, no, it's not fair, it's this, it's that. All those highs are tempered by the fact that I want to use the abilities more, and the luck I feel is a little bit too prevalent, that I feel they could have had the same good of a game with some elements changed to be less luck-based. Overall, for me, this is one that is going to be a 3 out of 5. A good game, not a great game, but a very solid good game, an easy recommendation.
Yeah, I actually do have final thoughts, and I agree. That is like a light game, but it's also a push your luck game. I enjoy push your lucks, and I enjoy light games that aren't super complicated. So I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and my rating would be a 4, I think, because it's a really cute game. Not always would pull it out, but I still really like it. But it's not like a great game.
Cool. Excellent. So that's going to be Sheepy Time by AEG. I don't even know how to end this. Sheepy Time by AEG. Once again, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
And I'm Ricky.
And have a good one.